kiss for you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to another video on Android app development using Kotlin language in Android Studio. Okay guys, so in this video we will be creating a simple calculator application that will take two numbers in edit text and show the sum and the subtraction and multiplication of these two numbers, and we will display the result in a text view inside this current activity. Okay, so let's get started. So here we have this main activity, and if we go to our main activity main.xml file, here we will first of all create a toolbar, and we will so for the toolbar we have to use the androidx.app compact toolbar. So here we will use the width as match parent and height as wrap the content, and then we will set the ID of the toolbar, and then we can set the background color, and we can say purple 200, and then we will have an edit text that will be the match parent and wrap the content. Then we will have to say it to place it below the toolbar, so we can say below the toolbar. Okay, and after this we are going to set the ID of this edit text, and here we will say ed1, and here we will say hint it to be like enter first number. All right, and then we will have another edit text that will be match parent wrap the content. Then we have to specify the ID it at ed2, and then we can set it to below the ed1. So here we can say layout below ed1, so it will be below the ed1 the edit text 1, and then we can set the hint of it like enter second number. That is it. And after this we are going to use a button or place the button. So here we can say button, its width will be match parent and height will also be the wrap content, and we have to set the ID as btn1. Okay, so let me just write change the width to wrap content, then text set the text as sum, and we have to place it below the ed2. All right, similarly we will place another button that will multiply both these numbers, or first of all subtract these two numbers. So here we will have another button, so we will say match parent wrap the content, then we set the ID as button 2, then we set the text as subtract, and then we say it to be below the button 1. Alright, and let me set the width as wrap the content, and let me set the text. Okay, the text is there. Okay, and finally we will have a button that will multiply these two numbers. So instead of this button 3 we can say button 3 here, and here we will say it to be below button 2, and here we will say multiply. All right, and finally we will have an edit the text view that will be match parent and wrap content. Then we set the ID as this text result, then we say it to be center in parent and it mark it to be true. Then text size, it should be 30 sp. Text alignment, it will be center. So let me set the text result. Alright, or if we can say 0. So basically by default the result will be 0. Alright, so now we can initialize all these things. So we can say late init variable, then we have to specify first of all the toolbar, and we can say toolbar this, then we can say let init variable ed1 edit text, then we have let init variable ed2 edit text, then we have let init button sum, then we have the button here. Similarly for the let init variable button subtract, then we can say let init variable button multiply, and finally we can say let init variable text result text view, right? And after this we have to initialize all these variables, so we can say toolbar equal to find view by id, then we can simply say ed1 equal to find view by id r.id.ed1, then we can say ed find view by id r.id.ed2, then we can say the button. So for the button we can say button sum equal to find view by id r.id.button1, then button subtract equal to find view by id r.id.button2, then we can say button multiply equal to find view by id button3, right? And then finally we have the text result equal to find view by id r.id.text result, right? So we have initialized all these controls. Now we can define some okay. So first of all, for the button 1 we can say it like button sum dot set on click listener, and we will just use this. Then we can say button subtract dot set on click listener, then we can say button multiply dot set on click listener. So that is it, right? And after this here we can say we can fetch like this variable str1 string equal to, and it will be ed1 dot text dot to string, right? Similarly for the variable str2 or num2, suppose we say num1 and we can say it like num2 ed1 dot text dot to string, and finally we can sum these values, but we have to convert them to integers, right? Here we can you convert these two strings into integers. So for that we can say variable let me say sum or num1 integer, and it will be type int equal to num1 dot to integer or null, and here it is saying me an error. Okay, so after this we can say num2 int equal to num2 dot to int or null, right? And after this we can similarly we can just say it like variable sum integer equal to num1 int plus num2 int, right? And okay, so here we can use it like this. Alright guys, so I just removed the integer from there. So here we can say variable sum equal to num1 integer plus num2 integer, right? And we can just set it to the text view. So we can say text result dot text equal to sum this plus sum, right? So this is done. Similarly, okay, so here it is saying that we have to use the value val because the value is not going to change. So let me change it to val, right? Right, after this we are going to just copy that and paste it inside our subtract here, and here we can say it like instead of this sum we can say sub t, and we can say it like minus, right? And similarly for the multiplication, here we can say it like variable multiply this, right? So that is it. So we can now run our application and let's see if it works or not. Let me connect my phone. Here let me specify a number. So for example, the number is 20 and the second number is 5. Let me 5, and if I click on sum, okay, so it is showing me 40 instead of 25. But if I click on subtract, multiply 400. Okay, so I think that there is some problem. Alright guys, so the problem was I have found the problem, and that one is inside this ed1. So here we have to change it to ed2. Similarly for all our functions we have to change our ed2 here and also the ed2, right? And now if we just run our application, and it will work perfectly. Okay sir, so if we input the number 20, let me write, and the second number is 10, and if I click on sum, you can see it is 30. Okay, and if I click on subtract, you can see the value is 10, and if I click on the multiply, you can see 200, right? So guys, if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and goodbye.